going live on my screen.
Good Lord, I suck at this. Okay, we are officially live.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
How's everybody doing?
Great.
Doing good.
All right,
Doing
so
really
welcome
good.
everyone, and welcome to anybody that is tuning in. This is episode 2. Oh, there we go. Now I can see. All right, so this is episode 2 of Arm Wrestling Showcase.
We are officially live.
Let me turn that shit down.
I was gonna say you're echoing.
Okay.
Great.
Well,
Doing
goodness.
good.
All right, so welcome everyone, and welcome to anybody that is tuning in. Well, what the heck? Episode 2.
Who else is watching?
All right, so this is episode 2 of Arm Wrestling. See, this is why we need headphones, babe.
Well, it still says live.
That's, oh, I see what's happening. Okay, I got it. All right. We are definitely pros here. We have definitely done this a million. No, we haven't at all. Okay. So, Josh, why don't we go one by one and introduce some of the people we have on here while I sort out some of the technical stuff here.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Well, we have Rosario on here. Hello, Rosario.
Hello.
We have Tara,
Hey.
right? Did I get it right? Okay.
Yes, you did. Thank you.
I'm so sorry about that. I was arguing about your name the other day. I'm like, no, trust
That
me,
was
it's like
so
this.
funny. That was so funny, but that was great.
It was horribly funny.
It was the only name I got right ever, like on this.
Yes, you did. I was surprised.
We have Grace up there in the corner. We have Blanca,
Hello, everybody.
and we have, is it Dana?
Dinara. It's Dinara.
Denara. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just looking at what it says.
It's
on the
okay.
bottom.
Yeah, it comes in a shortened way.
Okay.
Denara,
cool.
say that last name for us.
It's originally it's Matosian, but I go by Lavrentovna. Lavrentovna.
Oh, okay. That's an interesting pronunciation. I wouldn't have guessed that you pronounce it that way. And what's
Thank
the where are you from? Where's the last name from?
So I'm Armenian nationality, but I was born in Siberia and just grown and raised in Russia, and then came here like high school years, and yeah, just went on from there on. And then went to UC Davis. Didn't finish. Didn't finish it though. I had one more year left, and then I decided to drop out, go to India, live there for a few months, and then came back and went into nursing, and here we go. I'm a nurse now.
That's awesome.
Thank you. So a lot of transitionings going on, definitely. How I joined are we going on to the topics or not yet?
I think we'll dive into those in a minute.
Sure.
And if that's okay with everybody.
Of course.
And just one other thing I'd like to add, we also have Josh Edwards with us, co-hosting for this evening, as always, the man that's holding this stuff together. And we also have my lovely wife, Malia, with us, joining these ladies.
Hello.
Malia is an arm wrestler as well. She's just been a little inactive lately as we are.
Number 7.
Yeah, yes. Number 7 in California. Yes. And
I think it's 7 out of 7 though. So
yeah, we're
Nice.
getting a little baby, and yeah, hopefully by that time comes, every girl won't knock Malia off that list, but if you do, she's gonna be coming for you.
She'll be back.
Okay, so just in terms of a small intro for this show, I'm really excited to have all you ladies on here. I think we've talked about this a little bit. I think you're huge for the sport, and I think we need to have a lot more spotlight on you all. And I want to show you all a little example of why. I'm going to screen share something really quick here.
Sorry if I'm moving around, guys. I'm trying to find a place where there's not so much light because it keeps on. It's too
It
bright
doesn't
over
look
here.
too bad, actually.
I just moved.
Okay. So can everybody see this?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a comment on a video, and you only see comments like this usually in the viral videos because it draws in people that don't exactly arm wrestle, right? So it's kind of a good perception of what a lot of the general public thinks about arm wrestling. And I know this to be true with a lot of people that I bring into a practice for the first time. I was kind of the same way too when I went to my first practice. A lot of ego, or you think it's kind of like a mindless, challenge, not even a sport, a lot of pride. And yeah, so this is one of my practice videos with Devin Larrett. And so of course it drew in a lot of people like this. And this person says, look at what a man I am. Next, we headbutt the concrete. I absolutely love that. And the point that I want to make about this, let me get back out of that. Oh, stop share. Okay, so the point I want to make about it is I think the biggest promotion that promotes the opposite of that mentality is in women's arm wrestling, because look at you ladies, you're all awesome, you're well spoken, and you, I think, are definitely the part of this sport that can kind of get across that this is a sport. And when we go on through this episode, I really want to talk about how all of you lovely ladies got into this sport, why, and why this sport is so cool, why other people should do it. Because most of us, be it men or women, when we get the bug for this sport, it's usually because it's so much more. The community is beautiful. It's a really great community.
Absolutely.
Very positive, and we drive each other's strengths, and above all, it is a sport. There's just like so much more to
It's
it.
it's a very addicting sport.
That it is.
Yeah. And Blanca, would you say that part of the addiction is that kind of like all those interesting little combat technicalities? Because I know you're a boxer too. You're into different things.
Right. I in my opinion, I've never seen a sport so addicting like arm wrestling, because we all know that if we're injured, we should rest, we should heal, we should wait. The minute we hear there's a tournament, only 2 weeks from, for that tournament, we end up training for that tournament. Yep. Rather, I'm 15 pounds over, or I'm injured, but I need that rest. So then I just rest for that whole 2 weeks, and then I just focus on dropping weight. It is such an addicting sport. And I don't know what it is about arm wrestling. Maybe, like you said, it's maybe like the community, the people in the sport. But I personally do not see myself ever not arm wrestling. And I do want to share something with everyone. So although I haven't really been very active, I might even have surgery soon. So I might have to be forced to take some time off. But just because I'm not going to be in the sport, like competing or I'm still going to remain active, promoting the women, promoting every single one of you. I really, really enjoy sharing all those, tournaments and all those ladies that are winning out there. If sometimes I don't share it, it's either I'm out sick or something's going on with me. But like I said, the sport itself is just something that it's so addicting. I mean, I don't know how many times Jake, my coach, has told me, you need to get off the table, in order for you to heal, in order for you to get better, you need to get off the table. After my car accident, there was a lot of things that I did that I shouldn't have. I should have waited. I should have rested. I should have not competed. And I did. And there's no excuses. It is what it is. So now I'm going to have to take some time off.
That is really important. You got to get your rest when you can.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So when I first started arm wrestling, my husband didn't even believe that I was going to even arm wrestle. He kind of, when I said to him, it was actually, I believe it was in 2000, I think it was 2016, the very first time that I saw a huge tournament. It was in LA. It was at the Hollywood, downtown Hollywood, and I believe it wasn't the Novo. I can't remember which one it was, but that's where I met all those female arm wrestlers. It was Angelina Rose. It was Tamara Mitz. At the time, Devin's wife used to pull. I mean, every single woman that I can think of was out there arm wrestling. So that got me so excited, and I said to myself, I can do this. This was a tournament on a Saturday, and we usually used to. Well, he would practice with Derek every Sunday, and I would literally just sit there on my laptop and work whatever I had to do, and I would just let him train. But I told him, I said, you know what? I can do this. I want to do this. I want to arm wrestle. And he looked at me like, okay, whatever, Blanca. Yeah, whatever you say. And I mean, I had the weakest wrist. I was 245 pounds.
Oh, wow.
I was literally forced to pull everyone that was 250 plus. So you can only imagine how many injuries I had because I had no idea what I was doing. But
That's
you know
rough.
what? I watched a lot of YouTube. I asked a lot of questions. I made a lot of friends. Most of my friends were males in the arm wrestling. And you know what? I educated myself. So when I see kind of these comments about people, oh, he's cheating, he's using his body, or she's doing this, she's doing that.
Classic.
Honestly, it is that they're not educated because
Right.
because we
agree.
don't understand the sport. We don't understand the sport. But that's why we educate ourselves.
Yeah.
And that doesn't even make me mad anymore. I actually let the people give their comments. And then, of course, I come back with, you know, this is why it's happening that way. And then they're like, oh, okay. You know, in the sport itself, enable for it to grow. And I don't know, you guys noticed, I mean, we get new girls, they only stay for a couple of months. They either don't like the feeling of the pain. It is a very uncomfortable pain. Not everybody can deal with the pain and then have to do
That's
their day.
definitely true.
Right. And then have to deal with their daily life, which is working, taking care of children, whatever it is. Not everyone is comfortable with that. But
For sure. It's not easy all the time.
But in my opinion, if you really like it, you'll do whatever you have to do to get better. And I mean, I remember competing when I was only 3 weeks into training, 3 weeks, and I threw myself out there and I got third place. And I was
Wow.
so excited about competing. I just wanted to go to every tournament there was possible. I mean, I was like, I want to go to the next one. I want to go to the next one. I was very, very blessed because I had a lot of people that supported me, that helped me, that taught me, educated me, and I'm very happy for that. So, you know, in the arm wrestling, how can we make it grow, or how can we help it grow? You basically have to support each other. This is more of a sport, and it's got to do with our community. It's not just about women supporting women. It's about our men supporting the women, our men supporting your teammates. We are teammates because we are in a group of arm wrestling men, but we are part of your team. So a lot of the times men forget that. Men do not want to train with you. They don't want to teach you, and they don't want to take your advice. They, you know, if you tell them, hey, if you do this, you know, they don't, and I get it. But the bottom line is that we need that support from our male arm wrestlers.
We do. We definitely need more of that.
Yeah.
And
That
you
is
know,
frustrating because I'll get like a new guy on the team. Maybe he's been on for like 2 months and he's trying to like give me tips. I'm like, bro, I've been doing this for years. Like, you're new just because I'm small.
Everyone
Yeah.
comes in with that kind of little bit of chip on their shoulder, and I think it still comes
Right.
back to like what I was talking about. You know, that's the general, you know, thought process of what arm wrestling is, and the people that stick it out, you know, are the ones that realize it's so much more. And yeah, two things in regards to the surgery, or if you have to take time off. one cool thing about this sport is just if you do get into it and you stick with it, you realize that it's a marathon. And that's what I think is so cool about it in terms of something to commit to. It is long term. There's just these massive levels and just so many opportunities to grow. And also in terms of your desire to keep promoting arm wrestling, especially women's arm wrestling, while you're down, this is where to do it for sure. We'd love to have you on to do that as much as possible. This is a good point. This is an outreach show. Right. Where we're trying to reach people. We want you to reach more women through this show. We're going to be talking to every team that we can, not just in this country, you know, out of the country. If there's an event popping up somewhere in, you know, Oklahoma or New Jersey or wherever, we want to get in on that. And we want to bring the ladies in and do all that. I can tell we're going to have a lot of good stuff to talk about here. So before we fully dive into these topics, I'm going to man the chat a little bit. Josh, could you, with Blanca, and just go through the list in terms of what are, so we have context before we go into the topics. What are these girls' rankings? You know, what was the latest with them, and what are their upcoming plans?
Okay.
So unfortunately, I don't have that stuff written down in front of me.
Of course you don't.
You know,
you know all this stuff.
I just lectured about. I do.
That's the thing, Kate. Most of it is just
If we were men,
stored
would
up
you
in
have
my
it,
head.
Josh?
They're just girls.
Okay, well, the chat's not too busy right now, so let me, I think I've got it in here.
I think I have.
I do the same thing with everybody, Blanca.
I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you. You're amazing. You did an amazing job for that
I have the
tournament.
rankings here. So
Awesome.
for right hand 0 to 154, Nancy Locke is number 1, but Grace Bear is number 2. We have her down as Little Bear. Blanca is number 3. Denara is number 4. Bridget is on here, number 5. Tara is number 6. And then I am number 7. Number 8 is Alex, who I don't think I've met before, but so that's
She's
all right.
New to the compound team.
Yeah,
she's compound. Okay.
Right.
Yes.
She's gone to the SoCal practices maybe once or twice. She's gone there before. She also competed at the East versus West at in San Diego.
Okay.
She's getting stronger, ladies. I was just training with her this weekend.
Did you train with her this weekend?
Ladies move up a spot?
I'm sorry, what was that again? I didn't hear.
I mean, doesn't that mean that all of you ladies actually move up one spot? Because I mean, when's the last time Nancy is pulled in California?
Actually,
I don't know, but I was gonna say I
Uh-huh.
think there was an updated list that came out after the North versus South.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. No, I
I'm
know that
trying
they
to find
definitely
it.
were updated, but I also know that Nancy hasn't participated in anything in California in quite some time. We tried to set
Right.
her up with Stephanie Burns last year.
Oh,
And that
I
was
think-
going to be like a comeback match.
well, I think that Nancy had surgery on her wrist.
Oh, really?
I believe she was going to have some surgeries, and so the last time I talked to Nancy was about 6 months ago. I haven't spoken to her in a while, but
Yeah. I brought that up to Caleb because usually the rankings are based on folks who have pulled in the last year, and I don't think she has. So in that case,
It might be 2 years,
if
but yeah.
that went, then Grace would be number 1, and actually Tara would be number 1 on the left.
On one end, Nancy is of course a legend, and anybody that's pulled her knows she's just
right,
at
That
such a
is
massive
a fact.
level.
exactly. She
But
is.
so I think that comes into account. But also, if she hasn't been active and she's not taking matches, what better of a way to get her to come out? Let's shift.
Right.
Just like Ryan, you know, is the same thing with Ryan Ballesteros. He was starting to drop in those rankings because of the inactivity, but he still came back and he did some damage. But
Definitely did.
And on the left, again, we have Nancy number 1, Tara is number 2, Bridget is number 3, Blanca's number 4. Denara is number 5. Grace Little Bear is number 6. I'm number 7, and Alex is number 8.
Okay.
But Tara, if you do find like an updated list, feel free to share. But
Yeah, I was trying to find that. I'll send it to you, Kane, if I
oh,
find
is
it.
Rosario on the updated one?
She should be. And there's an overall list too. With,
I got that right here.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, some of you are on it. Of course, we got Nancy again. Nancy Lock on the number 1 spot. Brandy Stark has number 2. And this is where we see Stephanie Spencer. Stephanie Spencer's in number 3. We've got Erica Stevens. That's Paul's wife, right?
Mhm.
We got Lexi, number 5. And then coming in at number 6 is Little Bear Grace. Yes. And then we've got Blanca. Wait, what happened? Okay. And then Blanca was number 7. I just lost that.
He has really fat fingers that are really hard to.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I got fat fingers.
your hairstylist is doing a great job over there.
Oh yeah, he's a good boy. And I can't even express how much this hurts right now too, because I'm only wearing a t-shirt and he still has some claws.
Oh, okay, I found it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we had Blanca at number 7, and then we've got Denara, number 8. And then we've got Tara Terry at number 9, and Bridget at number 10. I'm guessing that's Bridget Morris.
Yes.
All right. So and all of these girls are extremely strong and will beat a lot of dudes that have not arm wrestled. I mean that.
I love the new guys. I only get to pull with them for like a month, and then after that, it's over. They get all this.
I know. I like the new guys.
Vicious creatures.
Yeah. If you think you're a tough dude or whatever, and you're not getting into arm wrestling because you're so tough or you're afraid to lose, come to a practice, arm wrestle one of their experienced women.
Absolutely.
See what happens. It might just open your mind to say that, show you that there's more to this sport.
Absolutely.
So Blanca, you're pretty high up there in most of these rankings. I mean, you're 4th on the right, you're 4th on the left, and you're also in the overalls. What are your plans that you have coming up?
Well, as I was talking earlier, I had a lot of plans. I won't be able to really do anything with that yet until I'm cleared from my doctor. So if I do have surgery, it's going to require some time for recovery. Like I said, it doesn't mean just because I'm having surgery on my left doesn't mean that my right doesn't work. So, so I'm pretty sure you guys will see me out there at the, tournaments. I might not be able to compete for this one, for the one for May. What is it? May 13th for the SoCal
LA.
Classic.
Yeah.
I don't think I won't be able to compete for that. But after that, like I said, I never stop training. It doesn't matter. Like I haven't been training with Jake for, I think it's 3 weeks now since since the tournament. And but that doesn't mean that I don't train.
And you're
it's like
of Jake Smith, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, he told me, he said, you need to stay off the table, girlfriend. I mean, you need to just heal up. But I'm just so stubborn. Like, I'm like, but it doesn't even hurt anymore. I can probably do this. So he's an amazing coach. He has zero tolerance to being a little baby. There's no crying. And his favorite word is, you're not special. Although I am. It's on his bulletin. It says, you're not special. So we train no matter what. Even if you're injured, it doesn't mean that you can't train other body parts. I can't train with my left, but my right works. My legs are strong. I need my cardio and I focus on other stuff.
There you go.
We need that blood flow, right? So we got to do what we got to do. And so my plan right now is to focus on healing. I am going to heal. I'm going to be better because Tara, it's not over.
No, it's not.
What I find really interesting about what you said too is that Jake Smith, he's like an MMA fighter, right?
He trains everything
Okay.
there is. Yeah.
Okay, so this is like a legit fighter that's telling her, you need to stop arm wrestling. Arm wrestling's too dangerous.
Should probably take that advice.
Well, no.
degree.
He didn't say like that. He didn't even say like, I think he's one of the worst ones. He will arm wrestle when he's injured. So no, I think that what he said is allow that left arm to heal so that you can come back better. And
Right.
but that doesn't mean that he goes easy on me. No, I still train. I still have a right arm and I still have two legs and a core that needs to be, solid. So I
Right.
still train. He, like I said, he's an amazing trainer. He has taught me a lot. He has taught me to become a little more focused. I would get easily distracted. I would get discouraged a lot of the times when I wasn't getting my results that I wanted. Instead of just working towards it, I would just kind of like, oh, I'm so done, I've been training with him for 2 years. And since I started training with him, I noticed a complete difference in every area, mentally and physically.
That's
So he is, you know how far he lives from me. I mean, I train with him Monday, Wednesday, Friday, sometimes Friday, Saturdays. It takes me an hour to get to his gym. And so I drive 62 miles to and from,
Wow.
sometimes 2-3 times a week. And I drive at 3:00 in the morning so that I can train early in the morning before my kids are up in the morning. So that is a huge sacrifice. And this is for everyone. Anyone that wants results, anyone that wants to do something that they really love, they have to put that sacrifice and effort into it. And when we don't, you have to be dedicated. And, and when you don't get those results, you still keep training because there's got to be something that's going to get better. It's not going to get worse. It's only going to get better. You're not going to get,
Right.
You're not going to get weaker. You're only going to get stronger. So, my recommendation for everybody that's out there in arm wrestling, and I've heard comments here and there from people, postings on Facebook, things like that, where they're like, I've been pulling for this long and I feel like I'm not getting anywhere. You know what? Sometimes we need to change up our workouts. Sometimes we need to change up our routine. Maybe what we're doing is not working. Maybe you need to go to someone that actually knows what they're doing so they can give you some tips. To become better, and what I've learned in the sport of arm wrestling, there's always someone that's hungrier than you. There's always someone that wants it more than you. And in arm wrestling, you never stop training because I don't care who it is, they can take your title just like that. And so you have to keep on pushing yourself. Just because you're the number one right now, it doesn't mean that you can be the number 4 in a couple of years. So,
Sure.
we just, every day, we just have to train. We just can't give up. We just have to keep on going. And I mean, that's all that I can say. So basically my goal right now is to heal, to feel better. I'm not going to quit arm wrestling. I'm still going to be here. I'm still here to support all of you girls as I support the guys too. They get a little spoiled here and there. I'm here if anybody needs anything. If you guys know of any tournaments that are going on and I don't know about it, or I'm too busy, sometimes I don't get to post it. You know what? Just share it with me. Grace is really good at that. Sometimes she'll tag me. She'll circle things for me. Things like, women are pulling for free or things like that. Things that you guys can find. You know what? Share it. Tag us. Just let us all know. We can all work together.
That's how we build it more.
Growing the sport in the women's division. Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is teamwork. It is what it is. It's teamwork. You have to share it. Because, you might have 300 followers, but the other person might have 3,000. And so we all share what we can.
Very true.
And kind of answers one of your guys' questions. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah.
The question of how do we get women to join arm wrestling sort of goes along those lines of what Blanca was just talking about.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, a lot more outreach. And yeah, I definitely think the guys need to step in a little bit more. to put the spotlight out. I almost wonder, like with tournaments too, I get how there's not enough, like for Malia, for example, she's tiny, and but there's 2 weight classes typically at best.
I know the feeling.
In these armor, yeah, you too, Tara. Yeah,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So we want to see more classes for the women, but it makes sense for the promoter or whoever's running it that there's not enough entries. And I just can't help but wonder if there's some inventive ways that we can get more women in.
I think honestly, start having those lighter classes, because that gives like an incentive, kind of draws more people in. Oh, hey, that's kind of like my weight class. If I'm someone newer to arm wrestling, I don't want to see a class 0 to 154 when, like myself, I'm 120 pounds and be like, oh, I don't know about that.
Mhm.
Even if a lot of people don't show up, you're going to be in that 154-pound class anyway.
Right. You
So
know what
have
that
that
is?
option.
You know what? I'm glad that you brought that up, Tara, because in my experience in dealing with arm wrestling, that is one of the things that kind of like it's kind of iffy for a lot of people. In my opinion, a lot of the times the mistake that the promoters make is that they never announce the weight classes for the women. They always assume that no one's going to show up. Whoever shows up, then we'll make it either 1 class or 2 classes. Out of respect for us as women, even if you think that there isn't going to be enough women to compete, how about you promote and you say, just like you post all these weight classes for all these men, how about you say there's 0 to 154, 155 plus, and then whatever, make it 3 classes. That is how women show up. Honestly, my honest opinion, that is how they show up. Just like you post all the men, how about we start posting all the women? I personally, I already take it to an offense when I call the promoter and I say, hey, I'm going to give you an example. Okay, promoters want me to bring ladies to compete. They want me to share. They want me to promote. They want me to let everyone know there's going to be this and that and this and that. But when I call that promoter and I say, hey, what's our weight class? Well, let's see how many show up.
That's where we need to change that. Because
exactly. And that to me, I already don't want to promote you. I don't want to share it. I don't want to go to your tournament, because you're already telling me that I am not important enough for you to post at least 2-3 weight classes, because whoever shows up, let's see what comes out of it.
Right.
Because already that's a negative.
We see it some of these tournaments. Yeah. Right. I mean, they only have, even if they only had 1 or 2 classes, if there's only 2 or 3 people, 4 people that show up, you're going to be combined in a class anyway. Right. So if at least they have that out there as an option for people to see, hey, there's several different classes, it's more of an attraction, I think, for more women to want to show up and compete, because, hey, they see their weight category.
Wow, we're going to have 2 weight classes.
Difference.
Oh, wow, we're going to have 3 weight classes.
Right.
And then now, if they don't show up, then guess what? Then we work with what we have. But you know what? That's already a positive. Positive reinforcement. Positive brings positive. I'm sorry, but you throw in we'll see, no one shows up. You know, just like men say they're tired of doing all this for this woman and they don't show up. Well, guess what? We women are also tired of being labeled or being compared to other women that did not show up, because we're here. We're still showing up, and we train and we waste money just like men do, or even more, because we train harder because we are women, right?
Right.
So, you know, so just like everyone puts their effort and everyone puts their money and their time and their training, I do too. I train very hard. Another thing that I've heard and I've been told before, that women that are at the 165 and don't want to drop to the 150 or the 145 are lazy. And do I look lazy? Do I look like I'm a lazy person? Absolutely not. And you know what? But a lot of the times we're ignorant and we're not really paying attention to who's around the sport, who supports the sport, who's helping it grow. Don't put people down. Bring more positive reinforcement. Bring more positive things about us in the sport versus the negative.
Amen to that.
You know, and we're here to help. We're here to support, and we're here to help it grow. But how are we going to help it grow if you're not even trying? Right?
It was so cool when the compound did a lower weight. That's the only time I've seen a tournament have 3 weights. And like Kane said, I mean, my usual weight when I'm not pregnant is 113. So I love when the guys are like, oh, I have to pull this guy. He's like 10 pounds heavier. He's 15 pounds heavier. I'm like,
that's nothing.
Like 50 pounds at least heavier than me all the time. So yeah, if I see there's a lighter weight, that's an incentive to show up to a tournament, right? It's really hard pulling in 0 to 155 when you're way smaller than that, as I think a lot of the ladies here.
Has it always been like this? Like in your guys' experience? I'm just asking because some of the OG promoters, I guess you want to call them, the guys who've been around for like 3 decades, they said that they used to do it the way that you're talking about, where it was like labeled for a lot of classes. But the lack of people showing up is kind of the same reason why they wiped out the men's 154 class in California, because nobody ever, shows up. I'm just wondering. Well, I have heard that it's been that way, and then the lack of, participation.
You can say that a little bit of that has a lot to do with it, but then again, how many weight classes do you have of men? In regards to the women, I know that there was a time when there was a lot of women pulling, a lot of women, but then a lot of things changed, and then we have a lot of new promoters as well. A lot of things changed during the year. So guess what? Let's try going back in the old ways. Lately we've been getting more and more women in the sport versus not. And so it's just nice to see those numbers. It's nice when you see a posting and you see a tournament that's going to happen, you see like 2 pages of all the weight classes for the men, and then the women's like open.
So for like me, like I'm 100, like around 120 pounds usually. Last year, I attended about maybe 7 tournaments. All of them were either 0 to 143, and most of them were like the 0 to 154. Right? And even some of them were, they didn't have a weight class.
Yeah, that's tough.
So it definitely is tough.
Okay, I'd like to take this like on a positive note for this. Well, first off, definitely it seems like any event should be doing the women's division free. I mean, I don't think at this point, if there's not enough showing up, don't charge them to do it. Maybe you'll get some of the men's wives and girlfriends to be like, what the hell, let's try this. Yeah,
I think that's how you kind of kick it off a little bit to get it growing a little more, and then you can start doing entries and stuff. That helps out a lot, definitely.
And if you do that, there's no losing in promoting several classes, 3 or 4 classes for women, because you're not investing anything to it, I guess, per se. I don't know, you're not having like it won't be unfair into which woman is buying in or not. If there's not enough, if there's only one woman that shows up that's under 120 pounds, then they got to combine the bracket or whatever. Big deal. But that said, we have I pulled up on the screen this tournament coming up May 13th in downtown LA, the SoCal Classic. It's going to be a big one. The basic theme is that this is for the main cards, it's Florida versus California. And the Florida guys over there, their league, they've got some really good forward-thinking things going on. I mean, these people over there, they're having 2 or 3 tournaments a month that are accessible to everybody. And that said, this tournament is going to be free for women. They want you to come and compete at this tournament. So they're doing a bunch of super matches. That's Florida versus California first. I think they were looking to set up some women on the cards for that. I think they were having a hard time with it, but the tournament is going to be nuts. And so any of you that are interested, any of you and anybody watching this, definitely check this out. I think this would be a great opportunity to build women's arm wrestling.
We'll definitely be there.
Yeah. Who said that?
If I'm not there pulling, I will be there supporting. It'll be the first I'll be as a spectator, but I'll be there.
Awesome.
I might be in nationals. I have not decided yet.
Oh,
I think it's
Exciting.
Okay.
I think it's a great thing what they're doing.
it is pretty good. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna. Yeah, we definitely won't be there either. I did have a super match for that, but my opponent had to back out for injury, and it actually got me out of some deep waters because I booked with him after realizing that her sister's wedding
Oh,
the same night.
saved your butt.
Saved my butt when he got out of that. I was like, yes. And so we're going to be dedicating the day to that, but we're doing our best to help promote it because this is going to be a great event. Anybody that can should go.
Mhm.
Was that you, Dinara? This we were going to nationals, maybe?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's on the same day, but I'm gonna go like most likely on the amateur team. I have not decided yet. I'm still thinking and looking into it. So if I will be able to go as an amateur, I will most likely go there.
That's awesome. Well, good luck.
Yeah.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Where's the tournament going to be at?
Kansas.
Oh,
I think I
Kansas.
saw
Okay.
that one.
Cool.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know yet. I'm just practicing for now as much as I can. It's pretty difficult with work, but we will see how it goes.
Good
Well,
luck.
yeah.
Thank you.
While we're talking to you, and then we'll jump around to each of you. I think the first time we met you or saw you at a tournament, Dinara, would have been, I don't know, maybe maybe the compound, like around
Yes.
a year ago.
Yes. It
That was
was
your
the
first
first.
tournament?
hmm
Wow.
I actually didn't wanna, didn't wanna compete. I was pushed. Um, I was just standing there randomly. I have not touched the table in my life. I do train. I just train hard with weights and just I trained with Oleg Moise very intensely with weights. And I was just that was just my fitness journey. I would crush my body to like immense amount of stress and have like very severe cortisol release and just very stressful on top of the life stress that I already had. Don't recommend that to anyone. I would cry literally after every training for 3 hours nonstop because of pain.
Oh
And
gosh.
just yes. So in a year and about 6 months, I was very like light, like twice as light as I am now, very
Oh, wow.
weak and skinny. So I pretty much just really put my body to lots of stress, and in a year and like 6 to 8 months I gained 8 pounds of muscle, just was working very hard. And so that day I was just, I've seen him arm wrestle and of course joined a few competitions to see him. And I was just standing there and never touched the table, never, like, I don't even know how it works. Literally just that day before starting, they would just show me a few things on how to pull. And yeah, I was just pushed that day. I pulled Bridget and Milia, and I think that was it, I believe. Twice, both of them, both of you
Nice.
guys.
It was just us three in the weight class, but still,
Yes. Yes. And yeah, and from there on, I just I was like, oh, okay, this is nice.
Yeah, and you were so strong on your first time. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, you came in
You
legit.
just started.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was strong. I guess because I don't have wrist practice and it's very weak. I pulled basically with my strength and bicep pretty much because that's what I have been training like with weights as well. So I guess most of the competitions I pull with bicep and back and not the wrist. It's very easy like to turn my wrist. So I'm working on that right now, but That
That's
was my
awesome.
first competition. After that, I stopped for a year, and actually recently was the two tournaments I went,
Mhm.
and Oleg would say, I don't understand. Like, you haven't practiced. You just go to these tournaments. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, it's okay. I mean, I can try. I have to try on the table, you know? So, yeah,
Sometimes you just
this
have
was
to
my,
jump in and see where you're at.
yes. So
Yeah.
that's what pretty much I did. So a year ago, that was my ever first time joining. After that, I stopped, and then recently, there's two tournaments that happened. I joined there, and pretty much that's how I got into arm wrestling. I would never think that I would get in because I'm not gonna lie, I did have that. Comparison of like. I don't want to look like a man, or I don't want to do manly things. It's like that goes on the brain, no matter whether you want it or not, at least for me. And it's very hard not to cross the boundary of like still staying feminine, but at the same time doing a sport that is dangerous and that does require immense amount of power and technique and thinking, and that's why pretty much I like it. I actually don't take it as a hobby. I take it as a sport. And when I look, it is a sport. And when I look at like professional girls or professional men competing, like for instance, a lot of women in Kazakhstan compete. They're very strong. A lot of
Wow.
people, a lot of ladies in Ukraine and Russia also compete, and it's very professional, and really enjoy to look at that as a professional sport. So I guess that's what kept me to go and not to stop, because I think I would have easily stopped. Just because I don't want to really, be in so much manly environment, which is great, don't get me wrong, but it's that, a lot of like energy, which is aggressive and which is, so you have to be kind of careful. Yes.
Yeah,
So
the
now
training
you need,
regiments are intense for
yes.
sure.
Although
So
that's really
now,
only on the table, right? Like afterwards or in trainings, like I feel both the women and men in arm wrestling are some of the like friendliest people.
yes, definitely. They're
Not on the
very
table.
friendly.
Not on the table.
Well, let's clarify that. In competition, like anything in competition, it gets very competitive. But even table training in practice,
Yeah.
it's usually the newer people that are getting them. They just want to pin all day. But we're all just trying to be nice and make each other stronger and stuff. So what, in terms of your journey, Dinara, where you're at now, what is it that's keeping you going? Like, what is it that makes you feel like this sport is a great sport that other women should get involved in? What is it about it?
I think I'd say discipline, really, pretty much. I've noticed, like any sport, it's a really discipline. And I realized that I'm not so disciplined in my life, in my actual life, like working or, going up the career, not really so disciplined. And this is like arm wrestling and just sport in generally, I realize that I put it into priority, and I make sure to do it even when I'm completely mentally not in a good place. And I think that's what makes me going, is knowing that I will be okay because of this discipline of a sport that I trained myself to do. So discipline, the habit of building this discipline for the sport, I think what keeps me going.
Okay.
I also do other sports as well, like kickboxing and weights, and I realized I put that into priority first, like health and that helps me with just mentally staying clear and keep going. In terms of sports, I would love to move forward. I'm not sure where I am at right now, because the more I see there are very strong ladies who put 100 times more effort, who train for hours, who sacrifice many things, who have a trainer for very long periods of time. And you can't beat that unless you do the same or more. So yes, so I'm not sure where I'm at right now, but I will just, at this point of my life, do my best and see where it's moving. And then if I make a choice to go, we'll make some sacrifices to move on. If not, then we'll just see how it goes.
Right.
Very cool. Well said. Well, we're glad to have you in the sport, and we hope you stick
Thank you
around.
so much.
You know,
Thank you.
it's a good ride. You know, there's a lot of people that take it very serious and
Yes.
sacrifice everything in their lives. I don't know. Everyone has their own path on this, and one of the things that stands out to me about what you're saying is the benefits in the other areas of life, where things like these strength sports can really help contribute, make you mentally clearer, emotionally, all of those things.
You know, I'm glad that you brought that up, because I do agree with you on that. When I first started the sport, like I said, I was a lot heavier. I never saw myself that there was anything wrong with me because I was heavier. I was always very, very happy with the way I looked. It's not until I see my pictures now when they pop up on Facebook, I'm like, oh my gosh, you know. But I've always been a very, very happy person. I've always accepted myself for who I am. But honestly, the discipline of the sport in arm wrestling, that's what motivated me to lose the weight, because it wasn't so much that I cared how I looked, it was how I felt. So arm wrestling gave me that. It gave me a lot more, not just the sport itself. It gave me a goal, and it gave me something to work towards. And I love it. I love the sport for a lot of reasons, but that is one of the reasons why I was very happy with it. And till this day, you'll still see me, you know, training really hard because I want to, you know, drop another 5 pounds or whatever. But it is true about the sport, about arm wrestling, that because of the discipline that you have to put into it, it helps you in so many areas of your life, by, you know, learning how to do things that you probably never thought about doing, but because of this, you're pushing yourself to do more. And that's part of that.
Wow. Absolutely. Yeah.
Also, I think you have to be really ready for the pain.
Yeah.
You have to like take the toll of pain on your body and feel it, and just go through it, because you cannot do it any other way. When I was first starting, like I said, I would cry every time after training. And for arm wrestling, why I started questioning is because on the last tournament that I pulled, I had a very severe stabbing pain on my in my arms, like ligaments. Yes. And I was, and it took like a week and a half for it to stop. I literally could not move. And I was thinking, am I ready to take in this pain like constantly, you know? Because this is just one time. People train and literally pain their ligaments over and over and over again. So
yeah.
And as you grow, you know, this is like a transformation. So you have to be kind of ready for all the things that come with it. The award is great, but the journey, the path itself is, of course, it's difficult, but if you're ready for it, I think you go. If no, then you step a little bit back, and then when you're ready, you go. When you're not, then you just don't.
Right. And it's okay to take breaks. Don't forget.
Right, right.
Absolutely.
You
Yeah.
definitely you gotta know your limit.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, we arm wrestlers are it's different, you know, because a lot of people in the world, they get tendonitis from something, an injury,
Mm.
and the doctor tells them to do nothing with that arm, and then they do nothing for a year, and then they have tendonitis for the rest of their lives, and
Right.
for the
They
rest
don't
of
do
their
anything.
lives. We intentionally give ourselves tendonitis in the sport. That's what happens when we're training. We're essentially inflaming and stretching and doing all these things to our tendons, and then we rinse and repeat. You know, we feed them, we recover them. You know, yesterday for me was recovery day for the tendons, and it's such a beautiful thing that in and of itself. You know what I mean? And that's part of where I think what Dinar is talking about, how it can really be enriching in other areas of your life, because, you know, that simple idea of something where you're willing to break it down and carefully, you know, dance with adversity, and heal and be made stronger from it than, you know, than you might be before. I'm going to take a look at the chat real quick. We've got Don Mormon in here saying good evening. The Lady Beasts, Don Mormon says. That's certified by the legend. You are all beasts. We got Natfit in here. So Jamie's saying I'll check the interview out tonight. I was hoping he would pop in tonight, at least towards the end, so he could talk about the event with the Free Lady entries coming up, but he ended up being on chauffeur duty for his little girls tonight.
Can't miss that.
But we've got Caleb in the house saying, yo, what's up? Yes, and we've got Caribbean Bull, who is Goyo, right? Josh, he says hi everyone. So we've got Goyo in the house. We got Benjimac in the house.
What's up, Goyo?
Hey Goyo, we love you, Goyo. He's like the happiest person. And then we got Ace One, giving us a big flex.
That's Adam, I believe.
All right, what's up, Adam? Well, thanks for everyone for joining us in the chat. And so we've got, okay, so in terms of talking about pain with this sport and having to be willing to confront some of that adversity and train in it. So 4 of you actually had matches in North versus South.
Yes.
Versus 2 pairs versus each other. And if anybody knows anything about adversity and pain, they're sitting in here with us right now. Mrs.
100%.
got a cast on her left arm, and she this happened literally what, 3 weeks ago? Ish. Yeah.
Around there.
She's back in an arm wrestling podcast right now, ready to talk about arm wrestling.
Beast. She's a beast.
Absolutely. And her match was with Grace Bear, aka Little Bear, and they had a very interesting match. I have this up if we want to take a look here at let's see.
Toilet paper is strong.
Yeah, and you really did look real strong in the first couple rounds. You did, and it
started off like a really good match.
Yeah,
it
and
did.
It's one of those things that happens, but it's so cool to see you back in there and going at it. Let's see, screen share and go.
You were the first that I met to go into a hook straight away, that's for sure. I've never met any other female to do that with me before.
Yeah, very impressive. Okay, so there's Blanca and Tara.
Thank
you.
I screwed up a name today. All right.
Difficult when they're both T's.
Goodness gracious.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hey, at
And
least
here
we
we
know
are.
on this podcast everybody gets a new nickname from Kane.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Your name is no longer Tara. Your name is Terry.
Okay.
It's just like the coach calls you by your last name. It's fine.
I'll still respond to it.
Okay. So, and Rosario, this was your first tournament, right?
Yeah, so I started on October last year. That was my first training, and it was somewhere in February that Matt, the main one where we he hosts like the trainings.
Matt
He asked me,
Silva.
there's gonna be a super match in April. Are you down? And I'm like, yeah, let's go. And yeah,
Wow.
that was it. So 5 months training.
Absolutely. Yeah. Warrior. Absolute warrior. And here we go. There's Tara getting a big pin. She's psyched. Anybody would be to get a pin on Miss Blanca Vega. Yeah, that was a moment right there.
Definitely was.
Okay,
I
here we
made you.
go.
I made you work for it, girl.
Yeah.
Indeed. I
That was
will
such a good
not
match.
disagree with
Let's-
that.
And let's bounce into that next, either right or left, whatever you want. Okay, so
Right.
here's, oh yeah, right in the hook with Grace, and Grace is very good in the hook. Here we go. Yeah, Rosario, you look very strong there, and you've got a
Really
lot
good
of
form,
potential in
too.
this. Yeah, heal up, and stay safe, and just keep pushing forward. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, your positioning looks good.
It's excellent. You just gotta always remember, keep your shoulder behind it like you have it. Don't lose that.
Right. That's a nice safe
Yeah.
position right there for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, looks good.
Little bear with her second pin.
Yeah. Okay, and that's where we had a little bit of a mishap here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
And
To say the least.
it's
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh
and
my
you could just I mean, you were like, okay, if that were me, I'd be running away crying,
I would probably never arm wrestle again.
Yeah. You were
Definitely
very, very, very
discouraging.
tough.
Impressive.
yeah.
So yeah, but both of you looked really good in that match, and Grace, like, you are making huge strides. You definitely, yeah, Blanca's been around a bit, but and always doing well. But in terms of current new arm wrestlers, yeah, you other three have all come in very, very strong. You're looking very, very
Thank you.
good.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
very, very impressive. So it's good to have you up and comers on here, and just really killing it already on the women's rankings.
Yeah.
So
Exciting.
Rosario and Grace, in your own words, what do you think would be the most important thing to help build arm wrestling, women's arm wrestling?
You can go ahead.
Honestly, I think just what we talked about earlier, being able to promote it in a way that it's open for all women, and kind of the women that are in it now just being open to being approachable. Really, is just being approachable, being able to be open and explain to
Definitely.
a newer person that doesn't understand the lingo or how we do things, and just I try to make it fun for whoever's new that's just starting out, because that's how you're gonna get them hooked. And I don't know.
For me at work, I'm just trying to like share with some co-workers. I'm like, oh, I do this thing and it's pretty fun. You should come try it out. I actually got 2 people from my job to go check it out, and they're all very impressed every time. Like, man, it's so much more technique than I thought it was. I thought it was just like, boom. I have a friend.
Yep.
So I'm a police officer, and I have this friend. He's huge, just huge arms. And he tried it out, and with someone that was like medium size, he just pinned him like really quickly. He's like he was all impressed. So that's what got him hooked, and now he's like going every now and then. So
nice.
Yeah, just tell people, try it, just be like, hey, come check it out, and that helps out.
Surprisingly though, like when you tell people like, oh yeah, I arm wrestle, it's like some people like have no clue what you're talking about.
Yeah,
they usually people usually giggle, right?
Yeah, so they're like, oh, wrestling. I'm like, no, arm wrestling.
Yeah,
like,
and not a lot of people anticipate like as a woman telling them, hey, oh yeah, I arm wrestle. They're like, what? They don't expect women to actually, that's something that they do.
Right.
Kind of terrifying when you bring it up to somebody like that. They're like, oh, what?
But I gotta say though, like, I mean, 10 out of 10 times, I think a woman is going to be much better at, introducing the sport to anybody, a man or a woman, than a man would. I don't know. I feel like you would all put it in a way that's better, and just, being super like feminine, awesome women like yourselves and everything like that, who are also inviting and easy to talk to. I think it would just blow some minds, I would typically think. And be like, I do
the men, they're exciting to watch, but I think it's the women that bring a little more interest, because it's not something you would necessarily expect. You wouldn't expect, women to be arm wrestling, and so I think that's what makes it a little more interesting in the dynamic of it.
100%. It takes away the stigma that has been on our sport for so long. Everybody thinks it's just a barbaric drunk sport for people. It does,
right?
Yeah.
And, so watching women, that are athletes that get up there and do that, they erase that stigma, and it definitely shows people that this is a sport for anyone who wants to get involved, and it's an actual sport.
Right.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's super positive.
A bigger reason why they should promote women more than they usually do.
Right. Hey, I'm already thinking, I've been thinking about this for the last few days, but the next North versus South, I'm thinking of doing like a tag team thing where it's like a man and a woman on each team, to get more women involved and to get more men involved with the women, and just building it up something different. So
that would be interesting.
We'll iron it out, but I think that could be a really cool way to get more ladies involved for the next one, for sure.
Definitely.
Josh, can you explain that to me more? I'm like not understanding the concept.
Yeah, so the concept would be two competitors, one male, one female. They both count towards a win, right? So let's say that you and Kane are paired up, and you go against another lady and another male, and Kane wins his match and you lose yours. Well, then it would count as a half a point towards the goal of the North versus South win. So the reason why I would do it that way is because it makes the male teammate more involved with trying to get involved with this female counterpart, helping, coaching each other back and forth, because we both count as 1 point. It's not 1 point each.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
So can I share something? We did that. My husband and I, we did that a couples match in Syracuse.
Cool.
James Reed was the person that set it up, and we went against Kate Bardo and Chuck Bardo, and we took the win. And it was East versus. This was about 3 years ago, 2019. It was amazing. It was the most amazing feeling to know that as a couple, you got that win. You worked hard towards it, and he was there in my corner, I was there in his corner, and it was pretty awesome.
That's awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
Good. So that means we have some good feedback from it already, and maybe you can help line this thing up to where we could work it out and make it a really cool thing for everybody.
That would be amazing. I'm there.
Dig it.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah. At first, I thought you meant like a woman competing it.
It's basically a couples match. Right. That's what it is.
Yeah. The Amazing Race for arm wrestling. I like it.
Yeah.
I got tips on Malia.
Yeah.
Have to just wait a few months.
When somebody tries to like slip to the straps with me, I'll tag Malia so the beast can inside. All right, come on, bicep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So Rosario, are you it's your right that's still doing good, right?
My right's still
Right.
good, yeah. It's just my left that it was broken. Which
Because
is
I don't know
good.
if it's like if your screen's flipped or what. Okay, so it's your
No,
right.
no. It's my left arm, the one that got broken.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
I still haven't competed with my right, so
Okay.
you never know.
It's ready. It's ready.
Yeah, I got something in there.
are you still going to like practices or anything with that right, or planning to at any point?
Yeah. But I think still a bit too soon, obviously, like to go back.
Yeah.
But I am getting. So I know we're not talking like very detailed as to like how it happened, but the referee that was there, my coach and my friends and everyone that looked at it, and I still have the video on my phone, they're like, you weren't in a position that should have happened. Like, it just doesn't make sense. So one thing that everyone tells me is that maybe I had a hairline fracture I didn't know about. I'm very active. I do a lot of like CrossFit and a bunch of other stuff. So maybe I had something. So I want to kind of get an X-ray on my right, make sure I don't have any hairline fractures of any sort, and then go for it.
Yeah, because honestly, you didn't look that bad.
Right.
It was surprising.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I've heard a bit, and this might just be reason for when you feel ready just to get back into the training portion,
Right.
to really take your time in that.
Yeah.
So they say that a lot of times the people that get injured at the bone level or a serious tendon level, they usually come in strong and muscularly, or athletically, and they're new at the sport as well. And a lot of times so I guess what I've heard a lot that makes sense is, especially if you're strong coming in with a good strength background with muscularly and stuff, is to take that year or so to fashion your bones and tendons, because you're applying more torque on your unconditioned bones and tendons than somebody that would come in like maybe super skinny or like not as strong.
Definitely got to be patient and take it slow.
Yeah. No, they told me that it's because of calcification, and they're like, oh, you're gonna have a metal plate, you're gonna be invincible once you come back.
Oh yeah, you're gonna come back super strong.
Wow, that's what I hear.
I know we didn't, like, you don't have this image, but that's pretty much what happened.
Oh gosh.
Wow.
So,
And that's your humerus?
That's the humerus, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fun stuff. But luckily though, no pain even when it happened. So it wasn't like as discouraging. Like I've had no pain with this thing, which is weird to say. I had a week in between breaking my arm and the actual surgery. That week I had no pain. I was going for walks. I was doing some squats and some other stuff, like trying to keep
I would
moving.
count that as a blessing.
Yeah, definitely was.
You're young. You're good.
And how are you feeling now, Rosario?
I'm feeling pretty good. Tomorrow the cast is coming off, the splint, and I'm getting another set of X-rays. And hopefully I can start physical therapy pretty soon. I'm just so happy that it's my left hand, especially because of my line of work. I would have freaked out if it was my right, but it's my left. It's okay. Who needs a left? Pardon me?
So mean.
Oh, you're
your
a
left
police
is
officer.
nothing.
I am a police officer. Yeah,
Wow, that's amazing.
That is amazing.
it's a bunch of like all my sergeants and lieutenants. We told you, don't do that. You're gonna get hurt. The weekend, right prior to leaving, I had a couple friends that wanted to come watch. And I was like, no, it's going to be my first one. I'm already nervous enough as it is. And they're like, oh, don't break an arm. And then I text them the day of, and it was April 1st. So
I thought, oh my gosh. Yeah,
I broke my arm.
I'm like, nope, here's an image. Yeah.
That's too funny.
Yeah.
That is kind of funny.
Well, I know we all wish you a speedy recovery and everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, we
and
do.
I'm certain that every one of us is here for whatever you need coming up on this path.
100%.
But yeah, you're an inspiration to see you keep going forward, and just to be here. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you.
Life goes on. You're gonna come back stronger now that you have some metal in there.
Yeah. So we have
Watch out, little bear. No, I'm kidding.
yeah.
I'm so joking.
I'll be ready.
Caleb Armbender says Little Bear versus Nancy Locke has to happen.
Ooh.
Wow. Wow.
Hey,
That'll be
one day
very
I
cool.
plan on moving up and taking that #1 spot. So
Oh, Tara
one day
wants to-
soon. One day soon.
Let's go, Tara.
Yeah, you know, Nancy is more Tara's weight class. So
Yep.
Nancy's about I would say between 125 to 135. No,
Yeah.
no more than 135. No
She's
more than
definitely on
135.
another level, but I'm working towards it.
Yeah, and so she, you know what? I'm gonna give her a call tomorrow. But yeah,
I
she's
told Nancy about 2 years ago, and she was very
3.
intense. And Kane, I think, kind of knew who she was, but I had no idea, and he didn't say anything. So
I didn't really know. No.
she's a tiny, tiny little beast.
yeah,
Yes.
I knew
Tiny,
she was
tiny
important when
little
she
beast.
came charging out into the room when they called her name. And she like flew to say the riser or
Riser.
something. Yeah, it's like
Very
oh,
energetic.
Malia.
She's got a lot of energy. She's amazing though. She's invited me so many times to her home. So my parents live up in the Bay Area. She lives up north in Petaluma, and Nancy and I've been like I said, I've been pretty blessed with a lot of the female arm wrestlers, the elite pullers that they've supported me, mentored me. They've offered me their home. I just, I have a lot of good people that have helped me in so many ways. James Reed, my boss, I want to give a shout out to him because he's been amazing. He's the one that kind of pushed me to step it up. And Michelle Dugan, Malin, Fia, Gabriela Masconcellos. She's done a lot of seminars out here in San Diego. I've always supported her, and I continue to support her. I mean, Angelina Rose, Angie, I met her. She was one of the first arm wrestlers that I met. And the first time that Ronnie competed in Las Vegas, and I met her, and there were so many reasons why I wanted to do the sport. I saw these women that were just normal women, just like me, moms, wives, and if they could do it, it was for me. The hardest part as a mom and as a wife to be in the sport, regardless, it is what it is. We're just girls. There's no special treatment. There's nothing. If you want to do the sport, you got to be able to sacrifice, and you got to be able to do the work. You still have to be a mom. You still have to be a wife, and you still have to have your job. And the sport is just a side job or a side hobby.
That's right.
And it is what it is. But you know what? I love every part of it. Every part of it. I always tell Ronnie, you know what, Ronnie, he's probably asleep right now, but I want to tell him again. I'm going to remind him. So that I always tell him, the day that you and I divorce, you better find yourself another sport, because I'm not going anywhere. and we joke about this, but since I've been so active in social media, and I love sharing everyone, and so when he first started arm wrestling, of course, I would share all of his wins, and he's got that natural talent. And so I've always showed him off, and we kind of joke about it now, because we say, when we get a divorce, I am legally your manager, so I take a percentage wherever you go. So, but yeah, so like I said, it's amazing. The sport itself, it's amazing. There's amazing people in it. We make the best of it. Not everyone's gonna like you, and it's okay. It's okay. But we move forward, we support each other, and we help it grow. We just try to find new ideas, new things to make things better for us. And we go back to the same thing. We go back to Josh brought it up. He brought it up about how is this something new that we struggle on setting up weight classes for the women, or is this just something that's old and kind of promoters are kind of over and done with? So some promoters have experience in their small towns that there's not enough women to compete, but this is Cali. Come on, we can make this grow. We have to promote it. We have to share it. We have to support it. We have to do what we can. Just like they support each other as males, arm wrestlers, support your teammates. We are part of your team, because you know what? Like Josh was talking about, this whole North versus South, we're going to need couples. So you guys better find yourself a couple.
Yeah.
And it's going to be fun, and it's going to be good. I know it. I can just feel it.
Same here.
Yeah, it's going the right direction, and y'all are killing it. We've got Don Mormon saying that Rosario is a beast.
She is.
This is true.
She is.
We've got my teammate Javier Martinez in the house from Alpha Empire. He says, "What's up, everyone?" And
hello.
If you don't know Javier, he is also an absolute beast, and we're at practice together Sunday, working on his top roll hit. And I'm telling you, all you super heavyweights out there, look out. He's getting a hit, and that's pretty nasty.
Sorry, I don't pull heavyweights anymore.
Does Javier not want any of that smoke anyway?
Nope.
So Grace, what they meant, Caleb mentioned Nancy Locke. What's your goals right now going forward? Short term, long term? Do you have any names or anything like that?
No names. Honestly, my goals are just to continue to get stronger. I want to experience out of state competitions. And I know there's a lot of girls in the local states nearby that are very, very strong, and on the East Coast too. So I want to get a little bit of a feel for that before, setting up some big goals, but just to get stronger and, see where I'm at. We got to update the rankings a little.
Well, Tara, do you have an updated list?
I did. I sent it to you, Kane. So you should have it.
Okay.
Well, that should be on the next episode.
Yeah. In terms of what she said, Grace, I mean, I think they say in The Mandalorian, this is the way. That is the way, for sure. Yes.
Where's Jamie when you need him?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm not seeing it in the group, Tara, but here maybe.
I think I just sent it to you.
Oh, okay. But I do want to pull up, Tara, your match with Blanca.
Awesome. Thank you.
Should we do left or right?
We should do right.
Sure.
Right? Okay.
No, let's do left. It's all good.
It doesn't matter to me. They were all good.
Was there a little bit more domination happening on the left or what?
Yeah, they were all pretty good.
Okay.
They definitely were.
Okay, so this would be left. Here's the right. I've already got it queued up.
We can start there then.
Okay. And share screen. All right, look at me go. Okay.
You're becoming a pro at this.
I know.
Every time you'll get better.
A little, just a little. Yeah, not at arm wrestling, but I'll eventually. Okay, here we go. I think this is round one. Let's just make sure. Yep. Okay, here we go. Maybe we should just go full screen with this.
Go.
That's interesting. Let's full screen that. I'm such a pro babe.
I do love Tara's energy.
I get so psyched up. I do.
But seeing that as a newcomer in the sport, that's what gets women engaged as well. They're looking at your face and they're like, "Oh my God, look at her."
I know say it was no easy at all, but it was great.
Yeah, right. I never go down without a battle. I'm sorry, Tara.
Oh,
but the next the next one's gonna be even worse.
That's okay, because I'm up for a challenge. I'm always up for a challenge.
You know what? Challenge is my nickname.
Yep, that's what makes it interesting. There's always something you can improve on, and there's always a new challenge the next day.
Right.
Yeah, I especially like that first round. Yeah, I think it was that one. Couple of beasts there. You guys almost look like you ended up in a hook a little bit there. There's the one time you were palm up, Tara.
I definitely tried one of them to put in that hook, and I guess it works for me.
So you were trying to set the hook in this first round?
I was trying to change it up a few different things just to see what worked best.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, your transition to a press is very good. You did that a few rounds.
So my mistake that I did with Tara, and I allowed her to climb. I usually climb first fast. I was in so much pain. I was just hanging in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a moment in there it was difficult.
I just couldn't. I was just trying to hang in there. Like I said, no excuses. I took the challenge. I had this experience with my car accident. I still went, and it is what it is. Now I'm paying the price for that. But
hey, you are one amazing woman. You are very strong, and I'm just blessed to have the opportunity to even pull with you.
I couldn't let it go. I was like, I have to go,
It was great. It really was.
Yeah, we did amazing on that. But like I said, usually I climb first, I go, and I'm an amazing presser, but I was in so much pain. I was just hanging in there. I just wanted to.
I was right there with you.
I just wanted to show. I didn't want to go down without a battle. So
I think we put up a good one.
Yeah, it was a good experience. It was.
Yeah. You both showed up for the fight, and now it was a good fight for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you definitely put up a fight, Blanca, because I'm pretty sure when I pulled Tara, it was just like this.
Did I pull you?
Yeah, I pulled on what was that place? Like, feel like
the compound. Was it the compound? Was she there?
Like all these videos and stuff to do.
Locked and loaded. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a good tournament. Another one Jamie was involved in.
Okay, the one in San Diego.
I think they're doing it again this year. That'll be a good one. So I just love the adjustments and technicality in a lot of women's arm wrestling, and this really showcases that.
I felt like I came a little ways and got better this time since my last one. It definitely felt
Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
I think that was the last one, honestly.
Yeah, we did pretty good.
No, San Diego. It was San Diego.
I didn't get to pull you in San Diego.
I know.
It was save the best for last.
Right. That was so perfect, though.
So I see Blanca here keeping her pronation, and it looks like she's kind of trying to dive in forward with side pressure and maybe a press. And then we see the adjustment here. Right. Tara, you seem to be kind of coming out.
Yeah, I had no strength whatsoever. I was in so much pain. I was just hanging in there. Hopefully I was hopeful that I would climb and just press her. I couldn't. The pain was it was pretty bad. So the whole time that we were up there battling, and then we didn't really get that much of a break in between. So
no, we didn't.
no, we didn't. And so
really
it was
didn't.
one
30
after
seconds
another,
between rounds.
one after another, it is what it is. She was ready. She trained for it. I put myself there. So, she took the win fair and square.
Yeah, really, really good match, ladies. Blanca's still keeping the pronation, trying to get her shoulder up in there. And we got the slip.
I got her once though with the strap.
You did, and that honestly was my downfall. I backed right out of it. I let myself come right back.
That was close.
And that position you were in, Blanca, was rough too, but that's also like that shows your experience too. Your conditioning to be able to be in that position and come out okay.
Yeah, I have a solid core. You can kick me all you want, I won't feel anything.
Right. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit in Ryan Ballesteros and Scott Partington's match. Yeah, especially Ryan getting into these really weird positions. And for the newer arm wrestlers, they need to know, those positions are things that only in a very experienced conditioned arm wrestler can know if they can go to those limits.
Yeah, you definitely got to know your limits and what you're doing, because if you don't, you can really hurt yourself.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm another Benji, so my wrist flops. It does weird things, and it doesn't bother me. I can flop and just hang in there as long as I want, but I don't teach that. I just, how many times I get told, why do you do that? I don't know. My body just does that, and I'm comfortable. But that is something that I don't recommend. So it just happens.
It does.
We've got the Grizzly, Casey, Steven saying Tara's aggression is super entertaining.
Thank you.
Don Mormon says Little Miss Terry is an animal.
Thanks, Don.
Yeah, just to go up there against Blanca was intense.
It was, and honestly, after Vegas, when we pulled, it was such a close and good match. I was like, you know what? I'd like a second chance at that, and I was up for the challenge. I'm always up for a challenge. It's what defines you and makes you better every time.
Yeah.
And I was good with that. I was like, hey, you know what? I'd be doing the same thing too. So
right.
Yeah, we had a lot of spectators that day. Mr.
Olympia. Now we got a hand match up top. Who's going to climb? And there's the press. Yeah.
But see, that's what I'm saying. How exciting was our match, and how much excitement did we bring? That's exactly why we need more women.
Yeah, exactly.
I want a piece of it.
Oh, yeah. Probably LA.
Yeah, I think that not only should we get free entries, but we should get cash prizes too.
Yeah.
That would be nice. That would be nice to see.
Yeah.
We need sponsors for that. We need some sponsors.
Yeah, and I mean, you don't even have to, it can start small, just something so it's that small incentive it's for the attractant to draw some, people in. It's just a start.
That is another thing about the compounds last tournament, is not only did they have those 3 brackets, but they also had cash pay out. So
I remember that.
Cash payout.
Sorry, I couldn't make it.
She killed it. Bought me dinner.
The way that the compound did their tournament, that was it needs to be replicated many times over. Everything, the whole thing ran really smooth, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We should have one in the summer at the beach.
Yeah, that would be fun.
At the beach.
Yeah, I think one thing that kind of stood out to me about that compound tournament that seemed to be a bit similar to the North versus South vibe, I guess, was that it was very community driven. It took guys like Christian and guys like Josh to, you know, decided to just shoot from the hip and try a few different
just kinda
things.
like grassroots.
And everybody sees that, you know, in the community, and then everybody gets involved and, you know, tries to just make it as awesome as they can. And the proof was in the pudding for sure. One thing I think is going to help all arm wrestling, not just women's arm wrestling, this whole team mentality thing. And you spoke of that earlier, Blanca.
Yeah.
I know one idea that you have, Josh, that is coming to fruition in August for the UAL thing is the national team competition that they're having. And we've got clear on the other end of the country, the FAL, the Florida Arm Wrestling League, definitely has kind of a similar vibe going. I think it's things like that, making it less of an individual kind of monster and more of a team thing. I think that's where we can incorporate more women and really just build and spread the sport in general. Also, that said, everybody tune in on Thursday. We've got a banger for you regarding Florida versus California. The Florida crew is going to show up on this show in their yellow jerseys and try and bully us around a little bit. But it's going to be hard because we're going to have Jamie Sheldon, Dallas Langston, and up-and-comer Gabriel Young on with us. I might try to reach out to Mika as well, because I just noticed he's on a card with Austin Wade.
Oh yeah, you should.
Yeah.
You can't do it without Mika.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Mika's the best. Absolutely.
Mika's gonna kill Austin, bro.
Josh.
Oh yeah. He's ready.
Yeah.
He's ready.
Yeah, Mika's amazing.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Tara, so I first met you at Locked and Loaded, which I think was like in the last year. But I was wondering, when did you start arm wrestling?
When I started a long time ago, I had to have been, probably 12 maybe. When we still lived in California, there was a tournament, it's not very far from us in Reno, Nevada. It was a juniors tournament. My dad got us into the sport, and he's like, oh, just go and see what you can do, just for fun. And so my sister and I both went. We had only trained for like a month. And after that, it was so fun, and it was great. I ended up placing and qualifying for Worlds too. And we ended up going to 3 junior tournaments, I think, when I was still young. Almost every other year, and became a 3-time national champion in the junior category. So that was really cool. And then just been doing it ever since, really.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And right now you're out there just shoveling heaps of snow and
getting stronger every day.
Oh yeah.
Big redwoods and such.
I have a very physical job, so I'm always working and always going, staying physically fit. That's for sure.
What do you do up there in NorCal?
I work for my local city, so I do a lot of like city maintenance work and shoveling asphalt, filling potholes, shoveling snow, a lot of physically demanding work. So
that's so epic.
Yeah, I'm outdoors all day, so I love it.
Nice.
I do body sculpting, so I work with my hands.
Nice.
I sculpt women.
What does that mean? Like a masseuse, or what is body sculpting?
No, body sculpting. I get rid of all your little fatty areas in your tummy and your thighs and your inner thighs, and I make you pretty. Yes, that's what I do. I work with my hands. So right now, my left is not working properly, so it really bothers me right now.
Oh no! So women are only going to be half pretty.
No. I got my strong hand right here.
There you go.
You guys are funny.
And Grace, what do you do?
So I'm working in the cannabis industry, and I'm also a trainer. Shout out to my team back in Hawaii.
Hey, awesome.
Nice.
So yeah, a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Very nice. Cool. And yeah, I think if all women arm wrestled in space with the blue halo behind them, everybody would do it. Everybody would do it.
Dude, it's the Earth.
Oh, it's like an eclipsed Earth. I love it. I love it.
Is that Earth? I was gonna put a rainbow on mine. I was like,
I don't even know how you do that.
I'm looking for the gold at the end of the rainbow.
So what do you guys think? Is California going to put the smackdown on Florida or what?
I hope so.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think so. I support my guys.
Grace, I know you're
and
going,
I
right?
believe in them. I believe in them.
There.
Good. We're gonna bring the heat.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Hold it down for us, Grace. Just line them up and take them all down.
There you go.
My best.
Grace,
right,
do you know who you're competing with?
Yeah.
Grace, do you know who you're competing with?
I don't have a super match, so it'll just be a tournament. I'll be part of the female tournament part. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Hey, if my arm is working, you know, my right one, and if I don't have surgery, I'm there. You already know.
Cool.
Gotta be there.
I'll go support,
At least
and
you
whoever
cheer
is
us on.
gonna compete against, I'll be like, just watch out. Just watch out.
Whenever you're ready, I'll be ready.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what me and my team are going for, is just to cheer all you guys on. Team Cali.
Oh, there you go.
Awesome. Thanks.
We need all the spectators we can get. You know what? That's support right there. That's what I was talking about earlier.
Absolutely.
Just because you're not going to compete, it doesn't mean you don't show up, right? You have to like support people. You know how many, you know, I think that I'm like everybody's what do you call it, videologist or whatever you want to call it, but I record, like when we used to be part of Alpha, I was like, I would feel bad if I did not record one of the guys that competed, you know, against someone else. So that was like my thing. I would record every single one of the guys in Alpha, and no one would ever record me.
Oh my gosh.
But that didn't bother me. I was like, I have to get everybody, you know, but now it's like, I don't have to always compete. Ronnie, my husband, he won't go if he's not going to compete. He'll be like, there's no reason why I need to be there, because he's gonna want to compete. Like he will not just go and be a spectator. He'll be like, no, because I'm gonna end up competing. So me, I can be a spectator. I know my, you know, I know my weakness and whatever, you know. But yeah, I mean, we have to have more spectators. Totally.
And you take great videos too, Blanca. You get everybody's good side.
You know what? I feel their pain, so I know. So I just try to make it as pretty as I can, right?
Well, that's where that body sculpting comes into play.
That's
You're
right.
like,
Oh yeah.
Yes,
It's all
sir.
about prettiness. Yes.
yeah.
Josh had a really interesting idea that we're kicking around a little bit, maybe for an upcoming show, to have just the women who are like the wives or girlfriends of like some super like dedicated arm wrestlers, and just talk about how like crazy we are, you know.
We're pretty crazy. You don't want to know.
You know how they have those shows, the husbands of Hollywood and the wives of whatever
No,
else.
but it still sounds cool.
The wives of arm wrestling.
Wives of
Strongest wives of arm wrestling. Let's go.
There you go.
Yeah, you know those funny memes where they say, "Oh, the wife," you know, they have these funny memes, and they put about like when the husband wants to go to arm wrestling and he spends every money on the arm wrestling. Well, here in our case, it's the other way around. I spend every money in arm wrestling. I want to try everywhere that has to do with arm wrestling, and he's the one that's cutting me. You know, not this one, not that one. Yeah, I'm the bad one.
I wasn't sure if we had any of those circumstances, but maybe we can do
No,
a vice
yes,
versa
it's me.
show. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, we've gone a little over an hour and a half, or no?
I know.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I knew we'd have some good conversation. Josh, is there anything that you want to add in closing?
I do. I'm sorry, guys, again, for ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry for rolling around, driving around town while I'm doing this. I'm not so involved today. But I do want to say a couple things. Thank you, first of all, for every one of you getting on here and supporting the idea. This is only going to help it grow. For all of those who didn't, watch North versus South or anything, we're going to have more coming. Shout out to Rosario, and she has a GoFundMe that's going for her injuries. So everybody that's watching that can support that,
Awesome.
the community really appreciates it. That's why we are the community we are, because we all fall on each other and stand with each other. So just support her and keep supporting what we're doing. It's one step at a time, and this is just a start. It's going to get better.
And where can we find the fundraiser? I know people can find it on my Facebook page, but you've got it.
I shared it on mine, but it originated from Matt Silva's page, as far as I know. So if anybody goes to Matt Silva's Facebook page, they can find the link on there. And there's definitely been quite a few people that are supporting. So big thumbs up to everybody. Let's keep helping her out and keep her coming back.
And share.
Right. Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. That's really helpful with a lot. Honestly, just anyone that has donated, and Matt that created it, I didn't even know he had done it. It's very helpful. So thank you so much.
Yeah. He's a good man, definitely. Well, and I want to keep getting more women on the shows, and if at all possible, not even with segregation. I love having all you ladies in. It makes for more interesting conversation all at once. But I also want to try to make a point, if to not be all men in each show. If we can get whatever woman on.
We're not haters or anything.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
It's all about building it, though, right?
Exactly.
Exactly.
This might be a new caption for a show, Female Friday.
Hey, I like that.
That sounds like fun.
Definitely suited for a Friday. That would be a party for sure. All right. So we got Terry. Thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely. And thank all you guys for putting this on and helping support too. And every last one of you ladies, I'm just blessed to be able to compete and pull with you guys. I appreciate it.
Likewise, babe.
Thank you. Likewise.
Thank you.
Miss Blanca Vega, thank you very much for joining us again. It's always a pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having me. It was awesome. Lots of laughs. Now I have more wrinkles.
Dinara, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for inviting.
You're an amazing athlete and a great person.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Likewise.
Oh. And Rosario, thank you very much for joining us. Love your spirit, love everything you're doing. Keep it going, keep it rolling. We're here for you. And
thank you.
Little Bear, Grace Bear, nothing but love over here for you.
Go Alpha.
Yes, go hold it down, destroy Florida for us, please. And
hey, I'm going too.
Let's go. Yeah.
You're gonna go?
It's a North versus South.
Oh, Florida's screwed. Yeah. Florida's screwed.
That's what I say. We're bringing the heat.
Hey, my left doesn't work, but my right does. So there you go.
There you go.
So much for being a spectator.
Don't be in trouble.
We have Blanca's right, and we have Terry and Grace Bear. You heard it here first, Florida. We're taking your jerseys. We're taking everything home with us.
That's right.
Yep.
All right. So, Mr. Josh Edwards, thank you as always for helping me hold this down. And thank you, everybody in the chat. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And again, don't forget to tune in on Thursday. We're going to get those Florida peeps on here. We got Jamie, we got Dallas, and we got Gabriel Young. And maybe I'll reach out to Mika. We'll see how that goes. All right.
That'd be awesome.
Thank you.
Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a good night.